Good morning, Samantha.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. It's good to see you.
You
Your
too.
smiling face as always.
It's Friday.
It is Friday. Well, AEC has a lot of exciting things going on.
We do.
And I'm sure you're busy making all those things happen alongside a great team and board and all the things. But just wanted to take a second to dive a little bit deeper into that and share some updates as well. So let's go back a bit. Many people may be hearing about Adult Enrichment Centers for the first time through this project we're about to share today. Can you share a little bit more about the organization as a whole and the role that the organization has played in supporting adults and families across our community?
So we just celebrated 40 years in October of 2025. We're 40 years old. We began in a small house serving primarily senior citizens who needed a place to be during the day. Over that 40 years, we've grown into 3 campuses, soon to be 4. Where we're serving approximately 125 people a day, and that is individuals over the age of 18. And they can be individuals born with an intellectual or developmental disability, individuals who are just socially isolated and alone and need a place to belong and find purpose, individuals whose caregiver may need to work or may need respite, so they come to us and they spend the day with us.
You used the word purpose, and as I was navigating the website and information, AEC talks a lot about aging with purpose and supporting people with varying abilities. What does that really look like in practice across the different programs that AEC has?
So one of the buzzwords for the last decade has been person-centered care. I prefer to say purpose-centered care, and that distinction is important because you can know a lot about the person and you can give great care and engage them in things that they enjoy, but if there's no purpose for them, we wake up every day as humans needing to know what our purpose on this planet is. And what happens as we age, or if society doesn't have an expectation that because I was born with this particular ability, I may not be able to have purpose, I fundamentally disagree with. Everybody has purpose. We just need to help you find it. And your purpose may change as you age. When we retire, a lot of times what happens is people go home and they sit down and they are looking again in a few years for their purpose. And so that's when they go find something they feel passionate about. Our folks who come to us, even with advanced disease or dementia or a stroke, still can find purpose. Today, we have a group of ladies who is set up at a local event. They made bags, decorated the bags for St. Patty's Day, went shopping for the items, put toiletry items in them, and they are donating them today. And these are 3 ladies, one of whom I know is mobility, uses a wheelchair, one with dementia, and the other lady is new to me and I don't know her condition, but they are out today and they are smiling and they are happy because they found a purpose today by helping others. Purpose is central to us being healthy, happy, and whole.
Wow, I love that language. And making a connection here into the very space we're going to talk about that we're sitting in today. With that purpose, a lot of people find that through arts, right? In forms of creativity and connection. And that is a huge central point to the values of what AEC stands for. So we're going to talk about this physical space in a minute. I know you're excited about that. But just the program itself, AEC, as one of those programs, has a thing called the School of the Arts. Can you tell us about what the program is before we talk about the actual space itself?
So School of the Arts came because we had someone who experienced a traumatic loss in their life of a close relative, and our person was nonverbal. And so we didn't know how to communicate with this person about that loss, what they understood, how they could express their grief or their questions. And that just felt just wrong. So thinking about it, I started doing some research and discovered that we need a place to appropriately express strong emotions. And a lot of times folks with intellectual or developmental disabilities may not have that appropriate space. So where can they do that? They can do that through the arts, whether that is learning improv and how to, shout things out on spur of the moment, whether it's through using a hammer and a nail gun and learning how to build something and taking out some frustration, whether it's showing creativity in the kitchen. It's all about that creative expression, and that's a place where we can pour passion and emotion and things that we're happy about, things that we're sad about, things we're confused about, can come out through the arts. We can dance, and that lifts our mood and our spirit. Or it could even be, an angry dance where we're just letting all of that release and we're exhausted when it's done. But that's where the idea for School of the Arts came for me, is that event really triggered. We couldn't find a therapist or anyone who could help us connect with our person and help them through that grieving process. And so, we're worried, is it going to come out in anger? Are we going to suddenly have someone who we say has behaviors, which I don't love? We all have behaviors, okay? Most of the times our mama wouldn't approve of them. But finding a creative way, a safe way, where they could express that strong emotion is how we came to building School of the Arts.
Yeah. And I love the intention on not just making it a one-time program or something we do monthly, but ingrained into an actual program that's lived out every single day that they're here within the center.
Yeah.
So talking about that, we currently do that work at one physical building, but you recently purchased a new 10,000 square foot facility.
We did.
To re-envision and reimagine what that looks like at a whole nother level.
Yes.
Tell us about the space that we're in and what's coming into this exact space.
So in this space, we will have 10,000 square feet of awesomeness. A music room where our folks can learn all around music. They can play instruments. They can experiment with creating music of their own. They can experience, the past masters of music, whatever they envision that as. There's also a podcast studio in there because we think some of our folks have a lot to say, and that's a way for them to get out and talk about the things that are important to them. One of the big features is our completely commercial kitchen, which will do a couple of things. One, it's an awesome space. It will teach life skills, personal living skills. They need to know how to cook. They need to explore food. I talk about food immersion because a lot of our folks with intellectual and developmental disabilities have texture issues, sensory issues, and they tend to eat a lot of the same repetitive foods that are not healthy choices. So we think that if they can plant it, grow it, harvest it, paint with it, use it in art, use it for fun, that maybe they'll learn to cook it, and then hopefully we can talk them into eating it, trying it, and they may discover some new things. But they've got to get really immersed and get comfortable with the food before they can do that. So we want to help broaden their horizons and their diet, hopefully, by doing that. So they'll learn life skills, they'll learn how to live as independently as they possibly can, but also employment skills. We want our folks to move. There's nothing wrong with being a dishwasher. If that is what you want to do and that is what you are good at, then I want you to go rock star dishwashing. But if you want to learn to cook, if you want to serve in a restaurant, if you want to be a sous chef or a chef, then I want to be able to teach you how to do that, how to do it safely, what we need to learn, what accommodations we need to make to keep them safe in doing that. So we'll hire a chef and we will begin training, hopefully, future chefs that'll be working around Rock Hill. There is actually an apartment going here, 460 square foot, fully equipped apartment. And when people ask me about why, because our folks with intellectual and developmental disabilities learn literally. They need repetitive training in the same manner to hold on to those concepts and those core things that we need. And it's more than just how to make my bed or do my laundry, even though we are going to teach that. How do I entertain? How do I know when to call 911? How do I know when it's safe to open the door for someone who rang my doorbell? What do I do if someone knocks after 11 p.m.? Should I open the door in the dark and I'm home alone? How do I know when to change the batteries in my fire alarm? If the dishwasher or the garbage disposal gets clogged, what do I do? Basic home maintenance. The goal is that we're building an inclusive world where our folks have capacity to live out away from home or family, and we want to know that they're safe. We want to know they have these skills, and the way that we're going to do that is by actually physically putting an apartment in this building and repetitively practicing those skills. I can't wait for the day they can move out and tell me they got their first apartment. There'll be an art space, a maker space. We're looking at introducing drone technology. We are looking at 3D printers, graphic design for those folks who may not be into painting or woodworking or micro concrete. We want to be able to offer graphic design, photography. There's a health and wellness studio, there's a dance studio, there's theater. And we're partnering with a lot of the amazing organizations in York County who also teach that so that we can be in a collaborative workspace, but also where everything is truly inclusive with typically developing adults with our guys, and so they can learn about each other and how to work together and how to partner.
Nice.
Yeah.
And one of the beautiful things that you and I discussed before we started filming, the idea that it's not just for those members that we serve day to day, that there's going to be a time and space where this place is open to other additional members of our community,
Yes.
regardless of abilities. Can you talk about that a little bit as well?
So the vision is that as we get in here and get this thing up and running, we start working with whoever needs space. And evenings and weekends, we close at 3:30. We're open Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 3:30. So who's in our space evenings and weekends? We want to be able to offer opportunities. So think about another group who needs to learn cooking skills as well. Could they use this space in our kitchen? Absolutely. If you have a teacher who wants to teach a dance class, we want to make it as close to affordable for everyone as possible. Remove those barriers so that the whole community gets to benefit from this building.
Nice. And I think that's a great asset when we think about York County as a full community, a space for all of us to live, play, work, all the things, and AEC being central to that vision happening for us. Looking ahead, so construction is expected to start soon.
We're hoping starting by the 1st of April, we'll be knocking down walls.
All right, I love that. What are you most excited about when you think about this vision coming to life?
I can't wait to see it full of my people. I mean, I walk through here and you can see we taped out the rooms so I could visualize them, and I'm, picking colors and picking furniture and light fixtures, and where's the data drop go was my call right before I got here. I have no idea, but let's put some in, okay? Wi-Fi. I had my team draw up there. If you could build your dream studio, what would it look like? What would it have? Can we get everything that we want in our dream studio? Well, I don't know, probably. We'll figure out a way, but they're excited about all the possibilities, the things that we can teach, the impact that we can have. We're getting ready to have our very first art show, and my guys are beyond ecstatic that their art is going to be displayed in a studio where people can purchase it. The end game is that our folks live better lives, have free expression of all the things that are important to them. They learn job skills, they learn independent living skills, which improves the quality of life not only of our person, but of their family and of York County as a whole, because we all benefit when people are included. And I just can't wait to see this building literally alive with the people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming, and I will probably be doing the happy dance. I have a grandson who's on the spectrum, and this is my legacy. This is what I want York County to be for him and for every other kid.
And I think your quote that you just stated is a perfect way to end this interview of, we all benefit when everyone is
Yes.
included. And that is something that AEC lives, breathes every single day. And that is something I know that we can expect from this space in the future as well. So to you, Samantha, thank you and your team for your vision. We're excited to see this come to York County and be a space that we can all be a little bit brighter and happier because of what's here. So thank you.